Hello, my name is Daniel and welcome to TechTekk. Today we have a special video, and it actually is a new series here on TechTekk where we look at electric vehicles. As you can see, we're currently sat in a Tesla Model 3. This is a Tesla Model 3 that I've had now for almost coming up to about a year, but I've not done any videos. You may have seen on Instagram and other places photos and stuff, but today we are going on to the M5. We're currently in Bristol, just on the outskirts of Bristol. We're going to be taking the M5 all the way up to Gloucestershire, and we're basically going to put this in autopilot and let it do its thing. We're probably about 5 or 10 minutes away from the M5. It's currently in autopilot doing its own thing, although I'll probably have to take over here. So once we get on to the M5, we will let autopilot do exactly what it wants to do. Just coming onto the M4 now. In fact, I'm going to now put it in autopilot. It's on Navigate on autopilot as well, and I'm going to stay in this lane because this, in fact I'm not, I'm going to listen to the Tesla right now, and I'm going to come across. So just coming across in the Tesla Model 3, you just gently give it a nudge, and it will come over. Now you do have to indicate. Unfortunately in the UK we don't have automatic indication like they do in America, but we do. Now the Tesla is actually telling me to go into the fast lane. That's because it wants to go faster than the cars in front, but this is the lane that I need to be in to get up onto the M5. Got a car now coming up my right side. You'll see it on the dash now, coming up very soon. There we go. And we're just following behind this lorry. And I think it's set to, yeah, it's set to 3 car distances. So it will always keep 3 car lengths from the vehicle in front. Car behind, but there's no one else in any of the other lanes. Now it's saying that I need to come over. Well, actually I've been on this route quite a lot of times now, and this is the lane to be in, so I don't know why it's trying to bring me over into the other lane, but we're going to see what it does anyway. We're just being very wary of the car quite close behind me. So is it going to take me off? It's not going to take me off, so I'm going to have to take over control there. It would have carried me on going to South Wales. So actually autopilot's now ticked off, so if I put it back on, I'm just going to slower the speeds down a little bit because this is quite a tight bend, but it should do quite well now because it's following the car behind. But there we go, it's just broke because it's seen the corner, and it's taking the corner fine. And this next bit now is a merge, so you get cars coming from the left into the R lane, so we're very wary now of the cars coming up and how Tesla will merge. Good that there's no cars coming, there's no one around, so we'll just see how the Tesla does this. Now I'm going to put it up to 70 miles an hour. So it's indicating, but it's staying in this lane. And there we go, we're now on the M5. Wants to come into the middle lane, and one thing I have noticed with the Model 3 is it loves the middle lane. Now if you don't know, or you do know, in the UK you're not really supposed to stay in the middle lane, and you will get called a middle lane hogger, as they call it. But when you're in the Tesla Model 3, it only really likes the middle lane, and it will occasionally try and bring you over to different lanes, but in most of the cases it will sit at 17 in the middle lane and the motorway so far seems quite empty. It was a lot busier this morning. It wants to now go into the fast lane, and I will, because there's no one coming up, staying at 70 miles an hour. In most cases I don't normally come into the fast lane doing 70, because you always get people driving much faster, and of course the Tesla won't really go any further than 70 miles an hour unless I force it to go faster. But in this case there's no one for quite a while behind me, so we're okay doing 70 in the fast lane. As you can see, the car in the middle lane is probably not going much slower than 70 miles an hour, so we are only gradually getting past it. And once that car is clear, I will bring it back to the middle lane, like so. So what's actually happened here now is it felt like that car was too close to us, so it's actually turned autopilot off. I've just had to put it back on. So we're hearing, when you hear that chime, that's autopilot coming back off. So as you can see, it's doing 70 miles an hour on the motorway on the M5 beautifully. There is no problems. It's sticking in the middle lane because there is slower traffic in the other lane. Now it wants me to go back into the fast lane, which I'm not sure why. There is a car coming up quite quick, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually cancel the lane change on that one and continue staying in the middle lane. So here we go, we've got a Audi coming past now. So sitting in the fast lane at 70 is just not possible in autopilot. You would have to be doing a lot faster speeds than that. If you are, autopilot will go up to about 100 miles an hour. However, it's probably not advisable to do that. One, because you're breaking the speed limit, and two, because autopilot is still in development. So it's now wanting us to go over. So again, tug on the steering wheel and it will bring us across. And that's just to allow you to give it permission to come across and make sure that it's fully safe. I'm guessing in the future that won't be there, and it should just bring you across without any confirmation like it does in America. So we're about 4.1 miles, as it says, until the Supercharger location, where we'll be coming off to charge up the Tesla. So as you can see on the dash as well, as cars come past, very clear, very accurate in terms of where they are as well. You can see there's a van in front, in the distance you can see that as well. We've got cars coming up behind us, and if I put now on the rear view camera, you can see that, you can see what's behind me. In my mirrors they're much closer than the camera is showing you. Now, one of the most annoying features I would say on the Tesla Model 3 is when it comes up and says you need to keep wiggling the steering wheel. Now, I've tested this with many things. I've tested it by grabbing it, I've tested it by shaking it, I've tested it by putting a little bit of pressure on it, but none of them seem to really work. You really do have to give it a little bit of a wiggle or sort of show that your hands are moving with the steering wheel. But I would say that's probably one of the most annoying features on the Tesla, because it'd be so much easier if it just went without saying, are you there, are you there, are you there? Because if I'm sat in the seat, unless I've gone asleep, which is probably very rare that would ever happen unless you were ill, then I am kind of awake. Yeah, I'm looking forwards. And I know there's been cases online where people have gone to sleep while the car is in autopilot in America, which I guess that kind of stops that from happening. But it is, when you're paying attention and you're using the car as safely as possible, it is one of the most annoying features here. So as you can see, we've slowed down now to 55 miles an hour. We're actually coming off. It wants me to go in the other lane, but in 0.7 of a mile, we're coming off. So I'm going to ignore that one again. You probably can't hear on the camera, but there is this sort of battery sound now I can hear, and that's probably the battery preconditioning. So yeah, in 0.3 miles, the Tesla should now, in autopilot, I'll navigate on autopilot, take us off. And this one, it will automatically indicate for us. So coming off of a motorway or going on, it will automatically do that. Now it's saying I need to go into another lane, but I don't. It's now braking and it's coming off, but it's doing very slowly. So I'm going to put my foot down there because there is a car coming off. So as you can see there, it didn't really come off there. It wasn't really sure what it should be doing. It slowed right down to 60 miles an hour, and I've got a Golf up, probably not too far, but quite close up behind me. So I had to take there. Now we're just coming into the service station, and we're going to go up to the Tesla Superchargers and charge up the Tesla for a little while. We're going to go choose a place to charge. Choose this one here. There we go. So that is the end of the video of the Tesla Model 3 on the M5 North in autopilot. If you did enjoy this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you are new around here, why not hit that subscribe button, because we have plenty more content like this coming very soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Perfect.